New York City thrums with millions of hearts, yet loneliness finds a way to carve its hollow space even here. I moved chasing a dream wrapped in skyscrapers, but some days, the sheer scale of it all leaves me feeling like a single, insignificant speck adrift in a concrete galaxy. It's easy to disappear, to feel utterly unseen. My phone, my lifeline to appointments, maps, and fragile connections, chose the absolute worst moment to die. Grand Central Terminal at rush hour is a mesmerizing, terrifying beast. A symphony of clattering heels, echoing announcements, and a relentless river of humanity flowing beneath its celestial ceiling. I stood frozen near the iconic clock, clutching my useless brick of technology, a map of panic tightening across my chest. How do I get to this crucial interview across town? The intricate subway lines blurred into an incomprehensible web before my eyes. That's when he appeared. Not dramatically, just there. Looks like you could use an old-fashioned solution. A warm, steady voice cut through my rising panic. I turned to see a man, maybe a few years older, holding a worn, unfolded paper map like a relic. He had kind eyes, crinkling at the corners with an easy smile, and a dusting of afternoon stubble. He didn't leer or seem predatory, just genuinely amused and offering help. Grand Central can be overwhelming even with GPS, he added, his smile widening slightly. Hesitantly, I explained my dead phone and my destination downtown. He nodded, tapping a spot on his map with a surprisingly clean fingernail. Easy enough. But he paused, a playful glint in his eyes. Since you've got a dead phone and probably some time before the interview, ever done the Grand Central's spontaneous walking tour? My skepticism must have shown, because he chuckled. A low, pleasant sound. Hear me out. Best way to beat the subway crush right now is to walk across town. I know a route that avoids the worst crowds, hits some hidden gems, and gets you there with time to spare. Scout's honor. He raised 3 fingers in a mock salute. Something about his calm confidence, the absurdity of the situation, and the sheer terror of navigating the subway blind made me nod. Okay, I breathed, surprising myself. Lead the way, Scout. His name was Leo, he offered as we pushed through the Vanderbilt Hall towards onto 42nd Street. The late afternoon sun washed the city in gold, and the frantic energy felt different outside, charged with possibility instead of dread. Leo wasn't lying about the hidden gems. He stared me down quieter side streets, pointing out intricate architectural details on buildings I'd always rushed past. A grinning gargoyle, a mosaic hidden in an alleyway, the serene silence of a tucked-away church courtyard. He knew the story behind a tiny, perfect bookstore crammed between giants and insisted on buying me a terrible, wonderful cup of coffee from a cart run by a man who greeted him by name. We talk effortlessly about the city's pulse, the absurdity of our jobs. He was a historical archivist, fascinated by the city's bones, and the shared, slightly terrifying thrill of chasing dreams here. Laughter came easily, punctuating our walk through the urban canyons. Time warped. The imposing bulk of the Empire State Building loomed, then fell behind us. We detoured briefly through the lush oasis of Bryant Park, the scent of grass and books from the outdoor library a balm. He pointed out his favorite spot to people watch. The looming towers of Midtown gave way to the different rhythm of the Flatiron District. My initial anxiety about the interview had completely dissolved, replaced by a warm, buzzing connection. I wasn't just walking to an appointment, I was discovering the city, and him, layer by layer. We reached the imposing building housing my interview far too soon. Standing on the bustling sidewalk, The reality of our transient meeting crashed back. "Thank you, Leo," I said, my voice suddenly thick. This was incredible, truly. The unspoken "I don't want this to end" hung heavy in the air between us. He looked at me, his earlier playfulness replaced by a quiet intensity. The city noise seemed to fade for a heartbeat. He hesitated, then pulled a pen from his jacket pocket. Before I could react, he gently took my hand, not romantically, but purposefully. He turned my palm up and carefully wrote a series of numbers on my skin, his touch sending sparks up my arm. "My phone does work," he said, his voice low and earnest, meeting my gaze directly. "Just in case you get lost again. Or, want to continue the tour sometime." He released my hand, the digits feeling branded onto my skin. "Good luck in there," he added, nodding towards the building. I floated through the interview, Leo's number, a secret warmth against my palm. It felt like a talisman, a promise whispered on skin. Later, sitting on the subway heading home, phone grudgingly charged enough to function. I didn't look at a map. I carefully typed the number from my hand into a new contact. Leo, Grand Central Scout. My thumb hovered over the message icon. A slow smile spread across my face, mirroring the one he'd given me hours ago near the clock. The message was simple: "Made it home. No getting lost this time. But maybe I'd like to get deliberately lost with you again soon." He replied within minutes. "Deliberately lost sounds perfect. Tomorrow? I know this great little jazz spot downtown. Hidden, of course." And just like that, the vast, anonymous city didn't feel so large anymore. Our story didn't start with fireworks, but with a dead phone, a paper map, and the kind of serendipity that only happens when you're brave enough, or last enough, to say yes to a stranger offering directions. Now, walking hand in hand with Leo through the whispering autumn leaves of Central Park weeks later, the memory of that frantic moment beneath Grand Central's starry ceiling feels like the first perfect note of our love song, a melody born from chaos, written in the unexpected harmony of two souls colliding in the beautiful, bewildering heart of New York. His thumb brushes mine, and I know, without a single doubt, that the best adventures are always the ones you find when you think you're hopelessly lost.